Hello, Mama's Fallen Angels. This is Big Robbo, and I am here with Marc of the band Crocus, who definitely has a lot going on at the moment. We're going to get into a lot of that stuff, Marc. Of course, a tour going on in Europe throughout the summer and into the early fall. New album out, which many consider the classic lineup of Crocus back together. Want to talk about Hoodoo. I got the album in the mail from your publicity people, and want to thank them publicly for that because it hasn't left my CD player since I've gotten it. It's a great record, straight ahead rock and roll. Want to talk about the classic lineup, Marc. Was this something that came together forcibly, or was this something that just felt right when you guys got back in the studio together after a bit of time apart?
Well, it actually was a big coincidence, and we have to actually thank Swiss Television for asking us to perform on this show in Switzerland called The Greatest Swiss Hits. And I was out on the road touring and promoting the Hellraiser album, which was the last studio album before the Hoodoo one, together with Mandy Meyer, who had toured with Crocus as lead guitar player replacement for Tommy Kiefer, who passed away after Metal Rendezvous. And excuse me. And so I came off the road and we did this TV show, and then suddenly we realized, during the show we only did a 3-minute medley of 3 songs from Metal Rendezvous, and the TV audience in the theater, it was a live thing, they went hysterical, and this was obviously caught by over 1 million viewers, and the media the next day was all hysterical about this reunion thing, and actually, during our collaboration we also obviously talked and tried to break some ice, and later on, after the success, success is always a big help to break ice. So that speeded the whole process, and we decided later on to get together and give it another try. And the first big concert we did was a sellout. We had over 10,000 Crocus fans turning up to celebrate the reunion at the Stade de Suisse Arena in Bern, which is actually the place we'll be playing at again as openers for AC/DC. Special guests, they invited us just hardly a week ago, and that's going to be on the 8th of June. It was sold out within a few minutes, nowadays with internet. So we're sensationally overwhelmed and we feel totally privileged and honored to be opening for, one of our biggest idols, AC/DC.
Right.
And can't wait for the day.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge show, and it's going to be a real big deal to the folks in Switzerland. I think to see their local heroes, of course, Crocus going out and playing out and being on the same stage as probably heroes of theirs for a long time as well in AC/DC, and it's got to be a big deal for Crocus.
Definitely, and all our fans too, because actually Crocus and AC/DC share the same fans, so they're going to be we're going to be killing 2 birds with 1 stone for them. It's that kind of situation, a win-win thing for all the ticket buyers.
Absolutely, and I just want to say to the Swiss people, us Yanks over here in America are very, very jealous that you get that lineup. That's going to be a great night and a great night of rock and roll. Wanted to talk about the album Hoodoo. Like I was saying at the beginning of the interview, we got the album here in CD form. We got it from your PR people, and it's something that just seems to be, I don't know, a return back to, speaking of like an AC/DC sound, Marc, that's what I likened it to, a heavy driving, kind of like a 70s good, just roots rock and roll, including a classic cover of Born to Be Wild by Steppenwolf. When you got into the studio, what I was asking earlier, when you got into the studio, did it just feel natural being back with Chris and Fernando and Freddie and those folks? I mean, was it something that just felt like you were just falling right back into place?
Well, as I said, it was a process which took 2 years before, you know, we went into the studio, or say a year and a half or so. Anyway, we did 2 big festivals, 2 big concerts, and then started writing, and we did it all in 3 stages. Every time we had 4 songs ready, we recorded demos and then went into the studio and recorded the first batch, and then we did the next 4, and after that the last 4, and the whole thing was mixed by Dennis Ward, and Chris Von Rohr did the producer job, which Fernando and I were very pleased about, you know, because Chris really knows how to take care of all the details and stuff. He's really good at working at details. So Fern and I could concentrate, Fern on coming up with good guitar riffs and so on, and arrangements, and I could concentrate on finding some good, inspiring lyrics for our fans, so that they don't get bored whilst listening to the songs, and it gives them the right food for thought, you know. And yeah, also vocal melodies and working on techniques and so on. And yes, we had a great time together. And we were not in the studio at the same time, you know, recording everything at a go, like in the Headhunter situation back in 1982. This time we did it in stages and separate. I did my vocals in Stuttgart, Germany, and I was there with Chris alone. Chris did his bass in the early afternoon, and I took over with vocals around 3 o'clock. So then Chris switched to producer, and Dennis Ward did a magnificent job on all the technical stuff and recorded us. We recorded, you know, we went out of our way to record a product which sounds and links up with the albums Metal Rendezvous, Hardware, One Vice at a Time, and Headhunter. And we took the old school approach. We used the same equipment, more or less, you know, in regarding amps and guitars. We had Fenders, Gibsons, and Gretches, and I used the handheld Shure SM58 with a cord going through a valve before going to the huge desk, and then into Pro Tools, because Pro Tools is basically the only modern digital thing we